Good morning, everybody. I hope that you guys are getting your day off to a great start here Thursday morning. Hope up until this point you've had some victories along the way, some accomplishments, some knocking down of tasks and goals that draw you ever closer to the ultimate goal of your desires, of your needs, of your wants, whatever that is, whatever you've set for yourself. Be consistent to moving towards that and be willing to celebrate your microaggressions, your micro, let's say micro progressions, those small victories that don't necessarily represent a benchmark or a goal as you have it written down, but are necessary to get there. I think one of the things that we fail to do is celebrate the small victories. And when we fail to celebrate the small victories, we tend to find ourselves becoming more and more overwhelmed, more and more frustrated, disappointed, and our attitude and moods begin to become counterintuitive to accomplishing the things that we say we want. Uh, I am a huge proponent of celebrating the small micro victories, things that other people may not even be aware of. If you can see in any way that you've grown, you need to take the time and celebrate it. If it's only within yourself or if it's sharing it with a loved one, the things that other people may not even find significant, but something that you can look up and say, I remember when I was, and now I'm here. Why is it so important to share these micro progressions? Because if you've got 90-day goals, 6 months goals, 6 month goals, and 1 year goals, and so forth, and the only time that you're celebrating are the points in which you reach those goals. Say, for instance, you celebrate at your 90, at your 6, and at your 1 year goals. If you hit them right on time and you're celebrating them, that's only 3 times in 365 days that you felt good about something you did, celebrated it, and enjoyed it, and really lived in the moment. What I can guarantee you that if you're actually applying yourself and you're actually working, you're putting in the time, I can tell you for sure that you're having days, every day, there's something in that day that's worth celebrating. You've got to be willing to look for it and find it, because it can be very easy to get caught up in the things that aren't going well, the things that are dragging along, the things that are taking a little too much time. And when you get lost in what's not happening, you lose your momentum, you lose your confidence. You start to take on a cynical mindset and attitude. You start to begin to, or you begin to anticipate and expect negative things to happen, because that's what you are focused on. It's imperative that you take some time out to celebrate those micro progressions. I got this done. I got that done. I remember when I said I was going to do this. No, it's not the culmination of the 90-day goal or the 6 month goal, but it's something that I got done today worth celebrating, and I'm going to celebrate. I'm going to take some time myself and enjoy this moment, because I'm progressing, I'm growing. And it's these micro progressions that over time will accumulate into the 90-day goal, into the 6 month goal, into the year goal. It's when you refuse to acknowledge these micro progressions that things become overwhelming and overpowering, and it becomes more and more difficult to get through it. Just something I wanted to drop on you. Okay, here we go. This is not going to take long at all. As you know, there are a number of different components and elements that go into what drives people towards success. You can talk about a lot of different things. Yesterday, I told you about the importance of being relentless, not being willing to give up, turn around, let up, um, and how that plays into it. It's the distance you're willing to go. But the thing is, what's driving that? What's behind it? And at the end of the day, it's hunger. If you're not hungry enough for what it is you want, you're going to get to a point where the difficulty simply is no longer justified, because the hunger doesn't provide the passion necessary to push through it. So, in other words, what are you resting on? What drives you? What is the thing you focus on? The problem is with most people, especially in this new wave culture, everybody's seeking comfort. Everybody's seeking this security. Everybody's risk averse. Everybody's change averse. Nobody wants to change. Everybody wants to stay the same, but everybody wants different things. So people want to remain in their corner of comfort while experiencing exceptional and extraordinary things. And that's not how life produces. Life produces when you step out of the comfort zone you've created for yourself and you stepping into a new arena in which things are not readily laid out for you. You are no longer the big cat in the room. You are now having to learn new things, start over again, but it opens up new possibilities. See, the new possibilities exist in an arena that you don't yet dominate, because if they existed in the arena in which you dominate, in which you feel comfortable, in which you feel important, you would already have it. So if you don't already have it and you've been in that space for a while, it's pretty well it's pretty safe to assume that what you want exists outside of the current box you're operating in. And see, that requires a hunger though, because see, we gravitate towards comfort. It's not what we want. It's not our passion. It's not our purpose that drives us. It's our comfort. And we will not move unless we become uncomfortable. As long as I can be a little comfortable, or even if we are uncomfortable, the discomfort hasn't reached a level yet that will make us move. See, as long as I can tolerate it and bear it, this discomfort doesn't match the discomfort of being uncertain, unsure, having to learn something new, having to engage in new ideas, having to address certain issues within myself that I'm actually comfortable with, even though they don't serve me well. So in this thing that you have, you've got to look, what are you pursuing? Are you hungry? See, a lot of you just simply aren't hungry enough. That's why you don't have the things you want. You're comfortable enough eating where you're eating. You're comfortable enough living where you're living. You're comfortable enough being who you are, where you are right now. And there's nothing inside of you that's pushing you to be better. Not based on someone else's standards, not based on what someone else defines as success, but based on what you could be at the height of your potential. What's driving you? Comfort or hunger? Because at the end of the day, it's going to be what you desire most. Most of us desire the comfort. And we have to be honest with ourselves. When we sit up and we look at where we're at, what we're going through, why we're doing what we're doing, we got to be just completely honest with ourselves. And that is the fact that as long as I can get the bills paid, take a trip every now and then, the kids got clothes, all of the things that we're measured by in a standardized society. In other words, everybody's pretty much measured along the same marks. Nobody's being measured by their potential. They're being measured by how well they fit in the box and operate within the box. So in a society like that, that's where that's what we're looking at. As long as, other people look at me and think I'm doing okay. In other words, it's not even about how I define myself. See, until you start to really truly measure yourself next to your potential, not next to what someone else is doing, it's going to be easy to remain in that place of comfort, because that's where everybody else is. As long as I can look up and I'm not doing as bad as them and them and them, as long as I can look up and most people will look at my life and think I'm doing pretty good. They like what I drive. They like what I wear. They like where I live. They like the plaques on the wall. They like whatever it is that you've associated with being accepted by the vast majority. As long as I'm cruising through that particular area, I'm good, right? But that's not where you grow. That's not where you truly live. See, that's existing. That's not living. Living is pushing yourself to be everything that you can be and experiencing life along the way while touching lives in the process. So in other words, I should be every day looking to grow, challenge myself, not based on what someone else is doing. That's their life. They're living their purpose if they're doing it right. I'm not measuring myself against this person. I'm not measuring myself against. Now, I may allow what somebody's doing to inspire me, but I'm not measuring myself against them. I'm not determining whether or not I'm successful and where I'm going and what I'm trying to do based on where they're at. I'm not doing that. What I'm saying is I'm looking at myself. I'm examining my design. I'm examining my potential. I'm examining my gifting, my talent. Am I refining it? Am I growing? Am I intensifying in my pursuit of my purpose? Am I becoming more focused, more centered? Am I learning? Am I growing? Am I evolving? And how does it measure up against my potential? I'm measuring myself against myself. I'm competing against my potential. That's where it comes from. Are you competing? And the thing you got to do is stop defining your movement, your moment, or your identity by your current circumstances. That happens far too often as well. You're sitting up and you're looking at where you're at, you're looking at what you're going through, and you start to define yourself. You start to identify with the moment. You start to identify with your current position. Stop that. There'll be enough people in this world that are going to define you, are going to define you by where you're at. Let them do that. Let that be their business and their job. You're not going to get concerned with this moment, because if you keep pushing, if you keep fighting, if you keep focusing, if you keep growing, if you keep learning, if you keep expanding, that moment will change. What's going on right now will change. You have the capacity within you to change any moment as you change yourself. You cannot have an existing reality, change yourself, and the reality stay the same. So you don't look at the external forces, you don't look at the external reality, you don't look at your circumstances and your situations, you always look within. If I'm in a situation that I'm not happy with, how can I change me so that I no longer am in this situation? I can't change how many people like me unless I'm willing to move and change myself to fit other people. And then I'm going to always be changing, because there's never going to be a place I'm going to be in where everybody likes me. I learned that a long time ago. So it's never about gaining the approbation or approval from other people, because that simply is not going to be possible. What I decided is I'm going to be the best me I can be every day. There's going to be some good days, some bad days, going to be some ups and downs, some failures, some shortcomings. But every day I'm going to be challenging myself to be better than I was the day before. And then I'm going to let the chips fall where they may. I'm going to make it my mission to touch as many lives as I possibly can as I experience life at the height of my potential each and every day. I'm not going to settle for just being who I am. I'm not going to become distraught by any given moment. Why? Because just the evolution of who I am will change my current situation. A lot of us are locked in situations because we're locked into who we are. We're locked into a way of thinking. We're locked into a way of seeing things. We're locked into a way of existing. We are still trying to live today based on yesterday's rules. Now, it may have gotten you through a certain situation. It may have been good to get you out of one situation, but it will not consistently move you. It's how fast you can advance yourself and grow and expand and become something new that you will advance yourself in life and get through those difficult moments. And I can't overstate that. But see, there are going to be plenty of people that are going to judge you about where you're at. So leave that to them. You need to focus on where you're going. You need to be hungry about being the best you can be. You shouldn't be satisfied with just existing. That should be a hunger in you that says there's something else out there, that the world needs me to stand up and be better than I am. That this life I have has purpose. Now, if you don't believe your life has any purpose, then you can go ahead and click off, because this isn't for you. I'm talking to people that actually believe there's some reason I'm here, that every day you wake up and there's something tantalizing and tickling your mindset, and you don't know what it is. A lot of times you can't figure it out, but you know there's something more. See, you need to get connected with your identity, who you really are, what you really desire, what your passion is, what you really want to do in this world. What legacy are you trying to leave behind? And then become and do and fight and push. It's a process. I am never where I need to be. I look up every day and see things that need to be worked on, need to be changed, need to be grown and expanded. And that's what I'm fighting for every day. I never have reached the point where I've arrived. And the hunger to be better grows stronger each and every day. It's an ambition to be the best that I could possibly be at any given moment. And that hunger is insatiable. And the more insatiable your hunger to be the best, the more advancing, the more progression, the more empowered you become. Don't allow your moment, don't allow your circle, don't allow people on the outside, external forces to determine who you are and where you are. All that comes from within. If you don't like it, change it. Decide in your mind that I am not defined by this moment, that this moment does not have the power to hold me, and move out of that moment. With that being said, I'm going to check out of here. Again, you guys have a great day. Remember, do something that matters today. Do something, get something done. Find something of significance and get it done today. Just find that one thing and then build out on that. But do something of value today, whatever that is for you. I can't tell you what that is, but do something of value today. Find that one thing, get it done. Not all the little tasks you have on your little sheet, your to-do list that you like checking off all day, and at the end of the day, you got all the little checks, but nothing's done. I mean, find something of significance that is going to require some work. It's going to require some effort. It's going to require some attention and focus. It's not going to happen in 3 minutes. It's going to take you giving a piece of your day to it. And finally, 24 hours. That's what you have in a day to get your rest, your regeneration, and your work done. And that's all you got. 86,400 seconds. How you invest in each one of those, whether it's resting, whether it's reading, whether it's doing some work, getting some tasks, whatever it is, how you invest in it is going to determine how you live out your future. You're literally writing the narrative of your future each and every second of the day, and in the way and in the manner you engage it. Make those seconds count. I'm out of here. You guys have an unbelievable day. I'm checking in on you on tomorrow, or maybe even later on today, depending on what flows through my mind as I'm moving through my day. You guys have a wonderful day. I'm out. Peace.